I guess my story is really about when God speaks and then I suppose the process of that. So I'm going back to when I was, I reckon, 17, 18, and I believe God's had a word over my life. And it was one of those words which wasn't like, go and do this next year, or it was much bigger than that. And almost to the scale that I felt at the time, that this is what your life's gonna be about. So I think at that stage, you kind of wake up the next morning with all this excitement, anticipation. Oh my goodness, God said this. My life's going to be forever changed. What does that mean? And I suppose my story really is I'm now 30, and so many of those years, little bits have kind of been added to it. So like I said, often people, they have these words from God, they wake up the next day, all this anticipation, waiting for God to do something. And when that doesn't happen, I think a lot of people can feel quite kind of deflated and disheartened, like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't God, maybe I've heard wrong, maybe, I don't know, maybe God's got other plans now. And I think I've just slowly just kind of grinded away. I got so much wrong over the years. Couple of years of thinking, oh, maybe it means this, and then God's kind of added stuff over the years. I think the big part of it though is in all that process, it's mainly been around character formation. So in all those years, it's actually God's making you the person He kind of wants you to be as that stuff starts kind of kicking into place. So, like I said, that was at 18. At 21, I actually started writing this journal, you know, and it's just got everything that I think was remotely involved around that whole issue. I just started kind of putting down. And like I said, I went off on massive tangents. Like I said, there was a few years where I got it completely wrong and I started writing stuff and I was like, oh yeah, that's nothing to do with it. But it's authentic, isn't it? It's life, isn't it? It's of just trying to work out kind of God, the process in kind of what God has. And then you suppose fast forward till 5 years ago, only then really, I feel like stuff is now starting to just come into place and start kind of piecing around what actually it is about. And so that's a lot of years of just kind of waiting and saying, oh wow, that's not what's going on. And God's good, He's faithful. That's still a long way to go. I still feel like there's got plenty of years left in it. But I think the biggest lesson I would say, the takeaway is just slogging away. Just being okay with just like, oh, okay, I think this is what my life's gonna be about. And ultimately, I think it's about establishing some form of the culture of heaven. I think this is for everyone. Establishing the culture of heaven in your area of influence. That's what we're kind of all made to do, right? And I think just be going for the long game. Don't be like, okay, God said this, that means tomorrow it's gonna happen. And when it doesn't happen, oh, my life's falling apart. Just being okay with, actually, if God's gonna be in it, then it's gonna be like for generations, you know, and decades and generations rather than just tomorrow. So you kind of learn to take the wins and take the losses. And there's definitely been days I've woken up and have just felt, oh gosh, I got nothing in me today for this. There's days I've woken up and gone, oh my word, I feel pumped, you know, even years later. And yeah, it's just being okay with the slow and steady and just never giving up and just, God said it, it's gonna happen. And just being faithful, just keep on keeping on, really.
Good? Yeah. Didn't have to ask anything, you just smashed it.